All right, welcome everyone. We're going to be doing a tutorial on how to edit using Adobe Premiere. So let's go ahead and begin. All right, the first thing you want to do is you're going to want to, if you don't have Creative Cloud, you're going to have to get Creative Cloud. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we'll go ahead and begin. I'm going to stop my video so you don't see me. It doesn't really matter. And I'm going to go ahead and share sound. What is this? Okay, so first things first, here we go. As you can see, this is Adobe Creative Cloud. You just go to Adobe Creative Cloud. There you'll be able to find a bunch of different apps, okay? So for instance, let's just get Lightroom for myself right now, even though I don't need it. Okay, so go cancel like that. Oh, well, this one I already have it, so this doesn't really help us much. So once again, you would go over here. Let me move this stupid thing some way. All right, so close that. So here we're at Creative Cloud. It asks you to sign in. When you sign in, you're going to make sure you sign in with your sjsu.edu account. Okay. Also, you're going to want to sign in as a school, and that way you can get it for free. Okay. So after you've gotten that, you would then come over here to your Launchpad. And in your Launchpad, let me see, click in here. In my Launchpad, what is going on here? In my Launchpad, it's not moving, there it goes. There would be Adobe Premiere. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Adobe Premiere. All right, another thing that you're going to have to do while that opens up, this is what it looks like when it opens up. But before you do that, let's go ahead and come over here. And I'm going to go into my Gmail. Yeah, look at all these emails, busy guy. All right, next I will do is I'm going to go into my Google Drive. All right, and today I went ahead and put you all into this called Cancun 2, okay? So let's take a look. Here you got Daisha, Debbie, Gabrielle, Jaden. Okay, everyone's here. If you're not, let me know. I'll get you attached. All right, you have all been able to be able to actually work on this stuff and download it. This is what we're going to be working with. Okay, today I went ahead and I already changed some of these names for us. So that's just getting a little bit ahead of us for you. You normally want to be doing that, obviously. All right, in Cancun, there's also going to be a folder called Paris. All right, and in Paris, there's a bunch of interesting little videos from Paris, okay, in Cancun. What you want to do is watch them, or you can just go ahead and come here and you're going to download them all. Okay, just going like that, download, and I'm going to go ahead and cancel that because I don't want them all. Cancel download. You're going to want to download them so that you can have all your files on your computer. Ideally, you would have a hard drive that you can put the files on. So go ahead and do that. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we're seeing here. I already had this Cancun Killer 22 days ago, so I'll work with that today. But normally what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come and you're going to say new project. Okay, here in the project, this is a really thing about Premiere, and and I'm going to actually start this from the beginning here. Thing about Premiere is that you want to label everything as you do it. It's just going to really help you in the long run. Okay, so we're going to call this one the Cancun Killer. Wow. Okay, and you know what? In fact, I am going to come over here and I'm going to download this one because it has a bunch of new names that I brought in. Okay, so that's going to take some time. I'm just not, because that's going to waste too much time. So you'll have to do this on your own. Of course, download it. So here we're going to call it Cancun Killer. Always name what you want. Another thing you want to do is make sure you put the location of where you want this. So go ahead and browse your files. Okay, if I had my own hard drive connected, which I don't right now, this is where you would be able to tell yourself where you want it. So for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and choose desktop. Okay, let's say choose. So this will create it to the desktop. Ideally, you want to create this to an external hard drive so that you can bring your footage everywhere. Okay, it's called Cancun Killer. What are we looking at here? Scratch disk, that's stuff that you don't have to really deal with. It's already done because you're telling it that you want it to go here. All right. I've only got 366, so it's time to delete some of this stuff. All right. Ingestion settings, don't worry about that because we're not recording anymore. We're not bringing in tapes. Okay. So this is just files. And in general, let's take a look here. This is where it's gonna, this is the time code. This is what the audio sample is, and this is the capture format. We're just gonna say HDV, okay? Just because that means everything that we're gonna bring in is gonna be DB. Okay, let's go, okay. All right, bam, just like that. It looks like we're almost ready to rock. All right, let's talk about what we're gonna be looking at here. Before we begin any of the editing process, it's really important to understand what we are actually working with here, okay? So this is Adobe Premiere. Okay. As you can see up here, there's a bunch of different windows, okay? These are all little windows. Each window is a view of how you can arrange different items that you might be editing with, okay? Graphics, libraries, Juan. You're not gonna get the Juan. Folder share, Juan edit to. These are ones that you're gonna create as you go. All right, so first things first, let's just go ahead and I'm gonna move this over right here just to show you how easy things are movable. And we'll get to more of that right now. But this is what it's gonna kind of look like when you are in learning mode. Learning is good because it has a bunch of different modules here where you can actually learn, because they will have videos and quick clips and trips and all that other fun stuff. And even if you're a seasoned pro, always take a look at this stuff because you never know when and what they've updated. And Premiere is just so strong and powerful, and the AI is so strong and powerful. It sounds like Terminator. It's always upgrading and it's always giving you super, super power. So we're gonna go with the learning one. And right now we're gonna take a look at what all of these windows are, the normal windows that you'll see. All right. First off, anytime you see this blue line here, that means that you're working in that area. Okay, so here it says program, here it says source clip. It's really, that's just a small little thing that'll really help you out in the long run because you'll be able to actually see where you're working. All right. With that, if you take a look, when you hover between blue lines, so this one's a blue line and that's a blue line, you're gonna get this icon. See the two arrows going left and right? Right, this is gonna be, this icon that you see right here is gonna be an icon that you'll be using a lot. And it helps you in many different ways. So let me just show you the way that it'll help you right now. It opens and closes things. So say if I wanted to work with the area and I wanted it to be smaller because I wanted more for my sequence. Say that I wanted more area for my source, okay? Say I wanted more area where I could see my video clips. Or I wanted more area of my timeline, okay? Just by simply doing that, and look at that, you're gonna wanna move this. This is how you can adjust where you're working, okay? So just anytime you see this little puppy right here, look at the cursor change, that means that you're working with the ability to make things larger and smaller. What's the importance of this? If we were working like this is, what I'm working on right now is a small screen laptop, right? But with my Apple, I can share my screen and put it onto my large TV, and I could totally rearrange this as I could have like this one, iPad dual monitor. When I work with my iPad dual monitor, I've created different workspaces. So since real estate is expensive, not only in digital, but in real life, you always want to just kind of set it for yourself and the way you like it. Later, we're going to go on how you would actually save these workspaces. And I can just show you right now. You'd go to workspace, you go save new workspace, and then you could always call this up. So let's just do that now. So to save a workspace in the future that you enjoy, you go to workspace, you go to save in your workspace, and we're just going to call this one Cancun 2. Okay. Now, if you take a look up here in our panels, we have one that says Cancun 2. All right. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's get back to where we're at. All right. Every single one of these windows could be closed. By closing a window, you just come over here and go close panel. But windows that you always need are pretty much these ones. So try not to close them. Now let's take a look at what's in each window. This right here is our source window. Okay. Source window, you might want to think of it as preview and movie. Okay. Preview being this is where you're going to preview your images, your videos, your audio, your texts, your graphics. You'll preview them here. Okay. When you preview them here, this is where you will make your edits. Now, before I get too far, let's just go ahead and break everything down. This is your preview window. In your preview window, you have powers such as effects control. I'll show you that later. Okay, here is your project window. In your project window, you'll have your media browser, your project, and eventually, this is where you will house all of your data, be it film, audio, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Remember, this is just a beginner's course into Adobe Premiere, but hey, thanks for hanging out. All right. So this is where I'd import my media. We're going to get there in a little bit. But right now, this is where I'd import it. This right here is our toolbars. Okay. For today's exercise, for this week's exercise, you really only need a few, but let's take a look. This is a selection tool. Selection tool is how you'll be able to move your clips. This is a track select forward. This is how you could either move tracks backwards by moving T, showing you it, or you can close them and move them forward. But we're not going to get there today. Let's just go ahead and show you this next one. This is a razor tool, also a B. It's good to always try to learn what your keystrokes are, even though Bobik said that there's so many different keystrokes. When you learn keystrokes, it's easier and easier for you to bring them into different applications, okay? Here's your slip tool. Here's your pen tool. This is how you could do video and audio dissolves, as well as raising and lowering volume. This is your hand tool so that you could grab and move stuff just like your arrow. And then this is your text type tool. All right. The next window is the timeline. The timeline is where you will house all of your clips, right? This is where your clips live. This is where you can see your clips. But this is actually where your clips will be in your project that you can eventually export and put online. If you don't ever put anything on the timeline, unfortunately, you'll never see anything. Back to it. This is our audio area. This is where our audio meters are. Here you'll see if your audio is too high or too low. Too high, it would be peaking in red, and too low. We'll see all that stuff in action pretty soon. All right, and here is our program. All right, what is a program? A program is just like it says, the program that you'd be finally seeing the outputted final. Okay. If you don't have anything on your timeline, you won't have anything in your program. All right. The thing about Adobe Premiere, and I think about anything, especially when it comes to editing, is watching, learning, knowing the clips that you're bringing in, but also if I'm going to be Christopher Walken, just kidding. This is where you're going to organize a majority of what you'll be seeing. So let's start here. I know some of you might be further than this in your skills. And if you are, that's great. But if you aren't, this is perfect. This is also a good way for people that are pro to get a little bit pro. Okay, so here we are. First thing I want to do is I want to create some new bins. Okay, what's a bin? Well, a bin is just think about it. Like you have trash bins, you have file bins, you have toy bins if you're a little kid. This is where you would be bringing in a group of items named at the same. So let's go ahead and create some bins. To create a bin, you're going to come over here and you're going to go new bin. This one I'm going to call footage. Create a new bin. Remember, just creating a new bin is going to go like this. But I think you can go also Shift N. But for right now, we're just going to go create a new bin. This one's going to be called audio. Sweet. I'm going to create a new bin. This one's going to be titles. All right. Create a new bin. This one's going to be pictures. All right. So here we have footage, audio, titles, pictures, and titles I think could be considered titles and graphic. Audio, you could have music and sound. Pictures could be still pictures that you'll be importing, and footage is where you actually will be importing your footage. All right. First thing you want to do to import footage is you can either come over here and go File, Import. Excuse me. Oh, pardon me. Sneezing. This is live, baby. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is import. So I can come over here and import. But what I want to do is I'm just going to come over here and right click. Right click is your friend in this program. And I'm going to import some footage. I'm just going to look for Cancun Killer. The problem with what I have compared to what you have is that yours will already have all the graphics or excuse me, all the titles of the scene. But I'm going to go ahead and import it now. Boom. And if I come into here now from 0, it says 1 item. You're like, I only got 1 item? No, you got 1 folder. If I double click this folder here, inside here, I'm going to have the Cancun footage. Awesome. Mind you, yours will already have all these titles and everything like that. So you'll kind of have a one up on this. I recommend you all watch your clips, see which ones you like. So let's go over what we're going to be, what your assignment is. In this project, you're going to be putting together these clips. And while you're using these clips, you're going to create for me a horror. Either you can make a horror preview, or you could make a preview for, say, come to Cancun. You know, everyone's will be different, and that's the cool thing. So don't follow exactly what I'm doing now. Make your own. All right. So now we have some footage. And if you look over here, we know that we are in the Cancun Killer. We are in the bin footage. Now, if you want to close a bin, it's simple. You just go and go close panel. Problem is sometimes you're like, oh my God, where'd it go? Definitely, you just go back here, open it up. There you go. So here you are in Cancun Killer. This is the project. This is the bin. This is the footage. Okay. And look, you can move things around just like that also. This is our media browser. In our media browser, it shows you where everything is. Okay. There's also ones like history and a bunch of really cool things. But right now we're gonna do this. This is gonna be a simple project. What I'm gonna ask for is some graphics, a music, some sound effects, you know, a cool title, and just, you know, overall have fun. All right. I'll give you all the descriptions in the actual project description. So here we are in footage. I'm gonna double click it. Here I'm in Cancun. Perfect. Awesome, I'm done. I'm done, Juan. Nope, you're not done. We're barely getting started. Da-na-na-na, da-da-dee-dee-dee. Okay, so we're getting started. How are we gonna make an edit? Okay. So to create an edit, what you first have to do is double click a clip. There's different clips that you'll see. Either you're gonna see MOVs, which are movies. You're going to see HEICs, which are graphic or which are still images, or you're going to see these MP4s. But most of the time, you're going to see on this is you're going to see JPEGs, images, and videos. Cool. Let's go ahead and start. So I'm going to go ahead and start scary out the bat. All right, so I'm going to double click this video of us driving down the freeway. Okay, this stuff was shot in Tulum and Chichen Itza, Cancun. So I'm going to double click this. You don't get any in Tulum footage, but you do get Cancun. All right, so I've double clicked it. When I double clicked it, it's opened it up into my source window. Woo! You're like, well, this is small. To increase the size of the images in here, you see, you go over here where it says 25, you can go 10, you can go 50, you can go up to 200, but that's too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into 50 so that I could see everything that I'm working with. Now, let's talk about what you are working with, because did you notice everything came to life? Right? All this stuff that was here is no longer alive. All right. Things to remember. I'm going to give you keyboard shortcuts that work perfect on this program. First, this is our timeline indicator. CLI. This timeline indicator can be scrubbed either by moving the mouse or your You could also press L, which is fast forward. Backwards, once again, more. Okay. I always recommend that when you shoot no more than 10 to 15 second increments. Unless it's a scripted project where, still even then, just don't overshoot. If you're out there shooting live and you're going to want to come back and bring this in, don't shoot 10 minutes of something. It comes really hard to find those kernels of awesomeness. So what you want to do is just shoot in 10, 15 second increments. Anyways, so L was fast forward. Space bar is play. K is stop. But not only that, space bar can be started and stopped. Okay. So when I move here, this indicates where I am in the clip. This is hours, minutes, seconds, and frames. This tells you exactly how long this clip is. Okay, so we know that this clip is 12 seconds and 17 frames. Okay, it's normally 29.9 seconds to make a second, which means 29.9 frames to make a second. So this is 12 and almost a half. Okay. All right. We also have other devices like export frame, overwrite, insert. But I'm going to show you how to do this just with your keyboard shortcuts and a mouse. I think it's really important for you to learn these things. This is also on something really nice to learn is a marker, because you can mark your clips where you like it. But since we're going to be doing a simple project with basically in and outs and kind of just going over that, we're going to go ahead and start. So I'm going to go ahead and start this footage. Before I start that, let me go over these. I call these ears because, see, it looks like there's two of them, 1 and 2. This might be your head. If you pull your ear closer, it makes it really tight. If you pull your ear further, it opens up your clip as far as you can go. So in, tight, out, further. Okay. Let's start this now and let's see where we go. The first person ever called the big one. All right. So I don't really want that audio. So what I will do though is I want some of this. So I like how this starts. I can also use my arrow keys. This is arrow right. This is arrow left. That is buttercup. And I'll be right back, people. Let me just take a look at that. Let me go open the door real fast. Okay, back. Okay, so like I said, you can either scrub it with your arrows, You can do J, K, and L. You can just click this and grab it. But I'm going to start here. This will be my very first edit. Yay. All right. To start your edit, what you got to do is press I. I means in. Now, remember, Bobak and I were talking about how, or even in the documentary that you just saw, in and out points is how you would do it. You'd start the beginning of the film, you'd go until where you wanted the edit to end, and you'd press, and that would be your out mark. You'd get some tape, and then you'd tape it together, right? And that's how you'd make an edit. But what we're doing here is non-linear editing, and with non-linear editing, you have the ability to start and stop anywhere and destroy your timeline and put together your timeline. There's so much fun you can do. Anyway, so that's our first shot. I've put it in there. Next time I do is just press spacebar.
The first person ever called the big one.
And that's going to be my out. All right. Now there's two ways of bringing data over. Okay. One, you can simply click it and see how you don't see me doing this, but I am clicking now. See, as soon as I clicked, my arrow goes to a hand and saying, give me that. So I can either move it down here, right? Just like that. I can undo that. To undo something in the program is Command Z or Control Z, right? I can just grab it over here and just go insert, and that'll insert it. Or for the time being right now, which is I don't want that audio of us clackling, I just go drag video only. See how I'm grabbing it? And I'm going to move this down. And ta-da, we've made our very first edit. And you're like, oh my God, why is this so big? Remember, we changed the size here. So let's go ahead, switch this to 50% too, so we can really see it. And now if I press my arrow up, it brings me to my beginning of my clip. And if I press space bar, we have our very first edit. All right, that's taking a little too long, so I don't really want all of that. What I can do for that is I come over here. If I click my arrow tool, I can just come over here. And if I see this right here, the bracket with the arrow in red facing either this way or that way, this is how I can make a simple, timely edit on the actual timeline. If I didn't want to drag it back, I could also just come over here and press the razor tool, click right here, get to my arrow tool, and I can just delete. Thank you very much for that. And I can just delete that, okay? So I've put down my first edit. I'm stoked. All right, I can also come in here and make the size of my timeline. Remember, using the arrow, the ears, larger and smaller. All right. So this large, showing that this 4-second clip or less than 4-second clip takes a lot of the timeline. But if I go open this all the way up, you can see how small this really is. Because now in seconds, we're in minutes, and it can get into hours. Actually, this would be 2 minutes, 59 seconds. Yeah, so you can go up into hours. Okay, this continues to go. And these continue also, V1, V2, V3, continue to go up and down forever. All right. Another good thing that you always want to do is you always want to go and learn this guy. He's always your friend. Command S, save your project. Okay, Command S always helps you out. All right, well, I know because I've worked with this footage before that in here there is a really cool sound of some drums. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the audio beat of the drum to push along my video. And don't worry, I labeled it for you guys that says drum or it says sound effect. But for me, I have to find it. And I think it's this one. Okay. So the Mayans didn't want to let me record their sound. I mean, they only gave me less than 2 seconds of a picture. So what I'm going to do is I had to come over here sneakily, and we'll listen to the sneaky.
It is kind of nice because you're facing the other person, so you can actually talk. It actually totally makes sense.
All right, be quiet.
right, so I asked him to be quiet because the Mayans didn't want to let me record, so I wanted to fake it. Look at, I'm whispering right now. Shit, I don't want him to come get me. All right, so I'm gonna come over here. We're gonna listen.
Facing the other person, so you can actually talk. It actually totally makes sense.
All right, be quiet.
All right, say all right. I say all right, be quiet. Now, if you use your arrows, you can really get in there tight. See, be quiet. All right, so we got that. I'm gonna say in. Remember, what does an in point do? It sets the beginning of the clip. Okay. Okay, so I don't want him to say one. So what I do want to hear, and I'm just going to stop it there. And that's going to be an out point. Okay. So now I know I can bring this over here, but you know what? I don't want the video image. I just want to grab the audio. So I'm going to grab the audio and I'm going to bring it down. Okay. Now let's take a listen to that. Okay, I like that. Okay. And that's the cool thing about audio. It's the cool thing about editing. You can find the littlest things, and with that littlest things, you can kind of start building up what you're going to want to do. All right. So I like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Command C, which is copy. I'm going to Command V, Command V, Command V, Command V, Command V. All right. I'm going to put those all together. And look at, you can move things by either just highlighting one, or you could highlight a group, and you can just move them up and down. I'm going to keep everything on audio 2 because I know this footage has video to it. But what I'm going to also do is I'm just going to move this here. And you could close a section by just going in the center and deleting. All right. Cool. Take a look at some of these things right here. This is insert and override. So you'll be able to insert and overwrite. This is snap in timeline. So I'm gonna have mine snap off. This is a really important one. This one is called link selection. So if you have a video clip and an audio clip and you want them to continuously move together, you need to make sure that that link selection is on. Let's go back to the beginning. Remember, to go to the beginning, you just press arrow up, or you can just move your timeline indicator to the front. And let's take a look at that first couple edits. Here we go. All right, cool. So now I've created my first bed of audio. You can have music, you can have that, you can have sound effects. I don't care. This is your project to have fun in. So I know this is a little too long. And maybe I'll want to get out of here. Now, remember what Bobak was saying, sometimes you want to cut on beats to really understand how, like, if you're working on a music video or if you're working on some dialogue. So let's go ahead and open this up. So I know I have a beat there because see, I see this waveform. All right. Now, sometimes your windows are going to come in small like this. Remember, I talked to you about the ability, anytime you see this right here, that you can open and close it. So by me opening it up, woohoo, I can really get in there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull this back to this point. Actually, no, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to pull my video here to this point. All right, now I'm going to make my next edits. In fact, what I'm going to do, which I think might be cool, since we're just having fun together, is I'm going to come over here and press B, because these clips aren't married. I'm going to cut it here, married being that they're together. Remember, as in the other thing. And I'm going to move this one here. And this is just haphazardly. Remember, you'd kind of want to have an idea of what you're doing, but I just kind of want to show you the ability that you can do. I'm going to come over here and double click this image.
Oh, no más solo foto? Okay. Oh, no más solo.
So, just have a clip. I'm just going to go in.
Oh, no más solo foto?
Out. I don't want to hear my voice. Drag the video over. And then what I'm going to do is just going to bring that in here. Okay. Merge it in. Then remember, I'm just going to Command C this one. Then I'm going to Command V. Okay. and it'll tell you where you're gonna drop it by here. So if you want it on video 2, you come over here and just click video 2, click video 1 off, and watch if I come over here, it's just gonna paste it here. Command V, okay. I'll keep this one here, okay. Let's see, that's where you can move it. I'm just gonna have this come down here, come out here. Well, like Bobbitt said, especially when you're working on something so tiny, kind of build it up and just look at what you're dealing with right from the beginning. So let's take a look. Okay, so there was a little jump there, so I don't like that. So let's take a look again. So did I go one right after the other? I did. So you don't want that, right? Boom. You're gonna move this one in here to that drum, and you can just extend that here. All right, cool. All right, let's go to our next edits. Now for this assignment, you're going to want to put together a preview, 30 seconds to a minute. Let's just say 45 seconds, unless you give me a really slick 30-second one. All right, so here we go. All right, next. And I'm just building this linearly. This is just one right after the other. How about we do a shot of let's do a quick shot of my friend turning around. He's just gonna go in, out. I just want the video. Click the video, bring this in. I mean, that wasn't even as exciting as I thought it would be. This one, let's see this one maybe. Let's see what he's doing. Oh no, here, just bring it closer to me. Sorry, people, I'm eating lunch. So, all right, so here we go. I'll put that one here. How about Patty running? My friend Patty's just running. And we could change the shot aspect. Let's do that one so I can show you how to actually do that real quick. There's going to be a shot.
What's that?
Wait, Erica.
So I just want that. Wait, Eric.
Wait, Erica.
Out. Okay, cancel. It's my audio again. I'm just going to put my out move here. Boom. Okay, and I'm just going to work on this over here just to show you how to actually affect something like that. So here we have this. If you want to change the way an item is larger or smaller, you do is double click this and you go here into effects control. All right. And in effects control, you have a bunch of things called motion, scale, opacity, rotation. That's the one that we want. And I'm going to come over here and just click and drag. I'm clicking and dragging. That becomes your best friend if you learn how to click and drag. So bam, look at that. Now that clip is set. All right. And I'm just going to bring it right here directly to my timeline because I do want to hear her say, Erica. Let's take a look again.
Wait, Erica.
All right, cool. How about we have this crazy shot? Let's see. Remember, always find those little bits and pieces. There's that shot, just an underwater weird shot. Let's just bring that in. And we're just kind of doing this.
Wait, Erica.
Okay, maybe something like that. All right. Let's see, we have this me with this hand here. Okay, cool. All right.
Wait, Erica.
All right, so we're just having fun. Now say I'm going to show you real quick how to do some other fun stuff. Say if you really wanted to slow this clip down, you come over here, you highlight it, you right click. And if you right click, like I said, this is your friend area. And right click, you could do so many different cool things. All right. Right now, we're just going to go to speed and duration. I'm going to reverse it. Simple to reverse it in this program. You just click reverse and go boop. And then watch. You put it right next to the. And we put that right next to this. That's how you can reverse something. So that's pretty cool. So you'd go ahead and build it, add your sound effects, put on your music. All right. I don't want to do too much of it because I want you to have fun with this clip. I also added the stuff when it came to Cancun. But I want to quickly show you how to work with an image. So if you double click an image, say you want this one right here. All images come in natively about 5 seconds. Let's double click to make sure. Yep, about 428, which is almost 5 seconds. All right. Oh, sorry, that's the meter now. All right. Let's play with some effects controls and give you what's called the Ken Burn effects, which is really easy to do on some programs because it does it for you. But for us, we're going to learn so you really get the understanding of how it works. And this will almost be done soon because you'll have to go work on it. All right. Double click your image. When you double click an image here in the timeline, what happens? It opens up in your source window. All right. Go to effects control. See how this says image 4761? That's going to be the same thing as this, image 4761. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how to do what's called the Ken Burns effect. So double click it, you know you're there. You see where you're at. This is only that. So I'm going to move it up a little bit. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give it some position and scales. So you would come over here, you'd open up, you'd click position and scale. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let it zoom out. So zoom out, let's say I want it to be about that long. The next thing I'd want to do is come over here and play with the scale and zoom out like that. Maybe to here. Okay, that's going to go zoom in and zoom out. This is going to be your pan and tilt. So this is going to be panning to the right and left. Okay, and then this is going to be tilting down and up. Cut it there. All right, so I do have images in here that you can play with and do something like this. Let's take a look at it. You'll know it's working too when you have two keyframes, the beginning and the end. So let's take a look at it. Okay, cool. All right, nice. Now say you had another image like this one. I'm just going to go ahead and drop this one in here. This image is of, ooh, casacote. Well, if I wanted to use the same exact moves, basically what I do, and this goes for everything, be it if you want to work on the same color, movement, things like that, you do over here is just go right click this and you go Command C. So you go copy. And on this one, now watch, this just to show you, there's nothing happening. I'm going to come over here, right click and go paste attributes. And I want the motion and the timing. Now, sometimes it might give you a bunch of other stuff, audio and stuff. I just want the motion and timing. I'm going to say, okay. And now it gave it motion. Say if you wanted to be out of the motion really quickly, remember double clicking in effects control. Say you wanted your motion out about this fast, you could easily just grab your keyframes and move them. Now watch, that'll be a fast zoom out. Okay, so that's how you would manipulate clips with using effects control. All right, we're almost done. do want to go over just how to create a simple graphic. All right, so to create a simple graphic, what you're going to do is you're going to come up here. You're going to go File, New, Legacy Title. But before that, since we want to be organized, remember this whole thing about organization, I'm going to come into Titles, double click it. So I'm telling it, this is where I want it. I'm going to go File, New, Legacy Title. I'm going to call it Cancun Killer. And boom, see, it's already started here, right here. You're going to, so this, remember, everything that you do here in this program, you can open and close windows, control things, have larger and smaller. So I'm just going to do a simple one. And also, if you have graphics that you want to lay over a certain area, move your timeline to where you want it. And if you look here, why is it not working? It normally would be showing me this image, but okay, so it's not doing that. But we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, name my title. I'll call it Cancun Killer. You call it whatever you want. Have some fun with the graphics. Don't just give me the same thing. Everybody, boom. Okay. You want to draw, if you know Photoshop, you'll know Premiere, a lot of the stuff, they all kind of, work the same, shadows, layers, and whatnot. I'm going to change this color to the color of green. So highlighting this, changing the color, and I'm going to give it this green color. Okay. But nah, that's not going to work because it'll match, it'll fall into the background. I'll give it this red color. Okay. Boom. Now we got our Cancun Killer. And I close it and look where it is in titles. So remember, if you're going to make titles, make sure you go here. So how do you lay a title down? You just simply grab it and you lay it on your timeline. Okay, this perfect timing that I wanted to go over the idea of how many layers you have. I think you have 99 different layers, so you can get really tight in there. So, it says Cancun Killer. Obviously, your title would look a lot better than that. Now, say if you love the way this looks and you want to redo it, you just simply right-click it and you go duplicate it. Don't duplicate every time you want to change the graphic. If you like the style, don't just change the information in the slide because it'll just be what the last thing that you did. So duplicate it. Now I can come into Cancun Killer. Sorry. Thanks. RTV at 30. Boom. Close it. As soon as you close it, it's now here. You can just lay it down on your timeline. Okay. All right. How do you dissolve? All right. So if you want to start with the dissolve, really simple. You could just come here and go right click and go apply default transition. And that gives you a dissolve. You could also do that to text graphics. Okay. Pulling these ears. And there's so many more. But if you really want to see other things that we have here, you can go to Cancun Killer. And in this area, before we get further, another thing that you might want to create is called sequences. And why is that important? Well, because this is a sequence. This is the timeline, okay? If you were to export this right now, see how it says image_4399? That's what it would export it as. And you don't want that. So I'd come over here and open that up, and I'll call it Cancun Killer. Be quiet, Buttercup. Cancun Killer. And I would literally just grab this and put it into my sequence. And now I have my sequence. I know where everything's at. That's just a way it's going to keep everything knowing where everything is at. All right. So you can also come over here and close things. So right now I'm not going to use titles. So I'm going to close this panel We're done with the footage for right now, so I'm going to close this also. And remember, you can easily open it. But here, I can also get different tools. Like, so say if I want to have Windows, I want effects. Now this, no, leave it. And now this is a thank you, but no, that's fine. Effects here. This is something that you'd probably want to have just because take a look. This is where you can add all those crazy transitions. To do a transition, all you got to do is put it to a clip. Well, like Bobak said, doesn't always look good. You know, maybe on graphics, but this is how you do whites, page peels. This is how you would also do fix your color. If you want to work with a different color, you can click it and just drag it on here. And ooh, see how it went monochromatic? Okay, and remember undo just like that. All right, so say you're done with this project, you put your audio in, you've done your things, everything looks nice. The next thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna export your data. Okay. So everyone will export their data. You're gonna upload your data to YouTube, and you're gonna have an unlisted link. All right, so how do you do that? You set an out point at the end of your clip. If you don't set an out point and you're working over here with a bunch of stuff over here, like say if you're working with a bunch of clips, if you don't put an out point, it'll go to the last clip. So say if you were working in 20 minutes by accident, it would record a 20-minute clip. So always important to set an out point on your timeline. You go File. Once again, File, Export, Media. Here, I know it's called Cancun Killer, luckily, because I changed the name of my sequence. All right, for online, for YouTube and everything, H.264 the best. To find that though, you just come over here. Sometimes it might be QuickTime. Go H.264. You know you're good, and you're going to export your film. And hide this. And since I did do it to the desktop, I'm going to look for today. And look at that, CanCooler MP4. Let's take a look.
Wait, Erica.
All right. Go ahead and come back online, and I'm going to stop my share here. So that's basically what you'll be doing for your project, is basically creating a simple graphic. Now, remember, if you wanted to have your own graphic where we brought in the footage of pictures, that's how you could bring it in, import it, lay it on your timeline, and go from there. But that is the basic, simple way of just starting off an Adobe Premiere project. Remember, I'll be here, so email me if you have any questions, any comments, like and subscribe. No, seriously though, but if you have any questions, send me an email. We can work on this, and this will be due in 2 Tuesdays. I've also assigned an audio section of editing, so you can watch that too. All right, thank you so much.